The smoke reaches you before you see the fire. You smell it first. Cedarwood, frankincense, and the iron edge of blood carried on the morning wind above the Kidron Valley. You are 20 years old. Jerusalem spreads below you in the early light, white limestone turning gold as the sun breaks over the Mount of Olives. And above it all, standing on its great platform of perfectly cut stone, is the temple. You have trained for this your entire life. Your grandfather served here, his grandfather before him. You are a son of Levi, not of Aaron, not of the priestly line, but of the tribe assigned to the work of the sanctuary. 3 months ago you stood before the temple captain and gave your lineage. He nodded once. That nod changed everything. Your first assignment begins today. Level 1, the gatekeeper. You take your position before sunrise at the eastern gate, Sha'ar HaRachamim, the gate of mercy, facing the sunrise in the valley below. The cedar doors are 3 stories tall, bound in bronze. In the darkness before dawn, they feel like the edge of the world. Your duty is simple. No one enters who is unclean. You check faces, you check hands. You smell the residue of death on the robes of those who have been near a corpse. The book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 23, verse 5, records that 4,000 Levites were appointed as gatekeepers. 4,000 men standing between the ordinary world and the presence of God. You are one of them. For months you stand, and you learn the geometry of holiness with your feet. You learn what the sacred costs in labour. One morning, you redirect a grieving woman whose mourning robes carry ritual impurity, with firmness and with gentleness together. A chief Levite is watching. 3 days later, you are reassigned. Level 2, the singer. The Levite choir assembles before dawn on the steps of the Nicanor Gate. You are handed a linen robe and a scroll, the Psalms of Ascent, Psalm 120 through 134. You have known them since childhood. You have never heard them like this. When the choir begins at the moment of the first offering, the harmonics of the psalms bounce off the limestone walls and return to you changed, as if the temple itself is singing back. The book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 25, verse 7, calls the 288 Levite musicians bin. Not merely skilled, but understanding. Here, music is not performance. It is comprehension of something that cannot be said in ordinary speech. You sing until your throat is raw. You sing at the slaughter of animals and feel the dissonance of beauty and blood, and understand that this is exactly what the text demands. Level 3, the carrier. Your back will never fully recover. The book of Numbers, chapter 4, verses 1 through 15, is precise. The sons of Kohath, Gershon, and Merari each carry different objects. The holy vessels themselves are wrapped and covered by the priests before you approach. You may carry what you are permitted, and you do not look where you are not permitted to look. This discipline teaches you something the singing did not. Holiness has structure. The structure is not arbitrary. The structure is the protection. Level 4, the priest at the outer altar. Your genealogy is re-examined. Through your father's line you descend from Aaron himself. The investigation takes weeks. Genealogical records in the temple treasury. Cross-referenced, confirmed. The temple captain hands you a scroll without ceremony. You are now a Cohen. The outer altar is built of unhewn stone. No iron tool may touch it, because iron is an instrument of war, and this is a place of peace. The fire at its crown never goes out. The book of Leviticus, chapter 6, verse 13. The fire shall be kept burning on the altar continually. It shall not go out. Your work begins before dawn with the removal of ash in white linen, before anything else is placed on the altar. Then comes the examination of each animal, the slaughter, the blood cast against the altar's side in the prescribed motion that the book of Leviticus, chapter 1, verse 5, describes exactly. You are the mediator between a man and his God. That weight is not metaphor. It lands on your hands. Level 5. The Tamid priest. The lots are cast before the morning star fades. The daily offering, the Tamid, is assigned by lottery, the tractate. Tamid records each stage, who cleanses the altar, who offers the sacrifice, who brings the incense. When your name is drawn for the incense, your hands tremble, not from fear, from understanding. The smoke rising from the golden altar inside is, according to the book of Psalms, chapter 141, verse 2, the ascent of prayer itself. Let my prayer be counted as incense before you. You carry the golden pan through the threshold. For the first time you are inside. Level 6. The priest of the holy place. The curtain falls behind you. The roar of the court disappears. What remains is the faint residue of yesterday's incense, the warm gold light of 7 flames, and a silence that is not the absence of sound, but the presence of something else. To your left, the menorah, 7 flames from oil pressed 3 times for purity, commanded to burn from evening to morning, in the book of Exodus, chapter 27, verse 21. Before you, the golden altar of incense, where twice a day a priest enters alone. When the priest Zechariah entered this room, according to the Gospel of Luke, chapter 1, verse 9, an angel stood at the right side of that altar. You do not see an angel. But as the smoke curls upward in the lamplight, pressing your offering into the coals, you understand why someone could. Level 7. Head of the division. The book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 24, records how David divided the priests into 24 rotating courses. 24 divisions, each serving 1 week twice per year, plus the 3 major festivals. You are now Rosh Mishmar. For 7 days at a time, every sacrifice offered at the temple is yours to oversee. During the Feast of Tabernacles, the book of Numbers, chapter 29, prescribes 70 bulls over 7 days, traditionally one for each of the 70 nations of the world. A blemished animal is rejected even if the worshipper has travelled 3 days. A priest who has contracted impurity cannot serve, even if it leaves you short-handed. The law does not negotiate. You learn what authority costs when it must be exercised in the presence of the holy. Level 8. The temple captain, the Sigan HaKohanim. Second only to the high priest, you now hold operational authority over the entire temple complex. The book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 1, refers to this office, the captain of the temple, commanding every guard, every priest, every Levite within these walls. If the high priest becomes ritually impure on the Day of Atonement, you step in. Every Yom Kippur, you stand as the contingency, the shadow prepared for the weight, if the appointed one cannot carry it. You know every gate, every court, every priest by name, every stone of this place. You have given your life to this mountain, and you have never entered the Holy of Holies. No one has, except him. Level 9. The high priest, in waiting. There is a man prepared. The book of Leviticus, chapter 16, confirms it. In the weeks before Yom Kippur, the high priest is removed from ordinary life and placed inside the temple complex itself. He studies the service each day with the sages, and alongside him, a substitute is consecrated. Because the atonement for all Israel cannot be delayed by any one man's impurity. The Mishnah tractate Yoma records this with striking plainness. The substitute weeps because he hopes the appointed one will be incapacitated. The appointed one weeps because he knows a man wept against him. You are this man, fully vested, fully consecrated. You know every movement of the Yom Kippur service from memory. Every year you watch him go in instead. Level 10. The High Priest. The Day of Atonement arrives. You have been in the chamber for 7 days. The elders of the Sanhedrin have made you swear, oath after oath, that you will perform the service exactly as it is written, and not as your private interpretation suggests. Now it is before dawn. The white linen robe is before you, not the golden garments of ordinary high priestly days, but pure white. The book of Leviticus, chapter 16, verse 4. He shall wear a holy linen tunic, and linen trousers, and a linen sash, and a linen turban. These are holy garments. Gold is not permitted today. Today there is only white. The morning sacrifice is offered. The court falls silent. You carry the incense pan, heaped beyond any other day of the year, into the holy place and through the innermost curtain. The book of Leviticus, chapter 16, verse 13, commands that the incense cloud must cover the mercy seat before you look, so that you do not see it directly and die. The Holy of Holies is dark. The smoke billows and fills the darkness before you can see anything else. You cast the blood of the bull against the mercy seat, once upward, 7 times downward, counting aloud. The words of the counting are the only sound in the room. No other human being is permitted inside. No priest, no king, no prophet. Only you. You complete the ritual. You step back through the curtain. In the court, the crowd has been holding something that is not quite breath. When you appear alive, a sound rises that has no word in Hebrew or in English. It is the sound of a nation finding out that God is still there. Before this video ends, I want to say something directly to you. Thank you. You are the reason this channel exists. YouTube removed our ad monetization, and even after that, they continue running ads on our videos, collecting that revenue while we receive nothing. So we created 7 shocking signs that God warns about the end times. Not as a business move, but as a way to keep this information reaching people, without depending on a system working against us. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments, and it is only available while this video is running if you believe this information should keep spreading. That link is how we keep going. Just as the high priest walked out of the Holy of Holies, carrying the weight of a nation on his shoulders, we keep walking out, carrying these stories as long as you make it possible. The white linen catches the morning light. The book of Hebrews chapter 4 verse 14 will one day describe what happened in this room as a shadow cast by something that had not yet arrived. A great high priest who has passed through the heavens. A thread you held without knowing where it ended. The doors of the temple are open, the smoke is still rising, and now you are history.